Akoko-Edo is an illustrious and historically significant local government area where the sun conspires with mighty hues to cast a big shadow indicating the strength of the area and its influence across the country. When it rains, the splatters as water which makes the rock is heard from several miles away, accompanied by hollers from strong winds, testing its resolve in a dwell with huge and ancient trees, even as plants and leaves rejoice, while their green is polished clean and luscious by the heavenly showers. As cold soon ensues with thick early morning fog that never deters the resilient people of Akoko-Edo who rises before the sun to head to their farms and other theater of crafts, where they eagerly and gingerly apply themselves, determined to meet their responsibilities to their families, immediate communities, and millions that serve in places that sometimes stretches far across the country's borders. It is a place of many faces and professions, animated by abundant materials, resources, and the tirelessness and diligence of the indigenous people, keen on attaining economic prosperity and relevance with the resources. The human resource, after all, is the greatest resources of all. In Ibilio, Egbigere, Ekbesa, Umuoga, and Ikpeshi communities of Akoko-Edo, the nation's appetite for its most common staple, Gari, is met with large and commercial productions founded on the enterprise of men and women with children, also apportioned roles to play in what is best described as a communal effort to feed itself and the entire country. For the uninitiated, Gari is a powdery food material flour made from the tuberous roots of the cassava plant, which in the process of its manufacture is changed into dry edible granules. To make it, harvested cassava tubes are peeled, washed and grated or crushed to produce a mash. The mash can be mixed with palm oil or placed in a porous pan, which is then placed in an adjustable press for 1 to 3 hours to remove excess water. Once dried, it is then sieved and fried in a large clay pot with or without palm oil. The end result is dry granular flakes that can be stored for periods. The uniqueness of Gari, and perhaps the primary reason it is a staple that unites the rich and the poor, is that it can be consumed in many forms. When alone and soaked with chilled water, it provides a refreshing and filling quick meal, great after a long day in the sun. When combined with hot water and stirred, it becomes the solid eba that can be eaten with several soups. Others have unique use for this multi-purpose staple, and the people of Ibilo, Egbigere, Ekpesa, Umuoga, and Ikpeshi communities of Akoko-Edo are historically acclaimed sources of the best Gari, a fact that ensures steady demand and tangible income, supplies through the country and beyond, and made via the major Ibilo market in a local government area where trucks and lorries are loaded with the products and armed with strict destination instructions for product delivery. With more investments and better marketing, the sales number could yet be higher, the production process mechanized, and the conditions of living significantly improved. As for the Uname people in Akoko-Edo, particularly the Akoko-Edo community, one of the special skills that have propelled them to national and global limelight, by extension, is the ability to bend metals to their creative will and productive usage. As blacksmiths with rare expertise in age-long tricks and genuine maneuvering, men, women, and children contribute to the task of making farm tools such as hoes and cutlasses out of strong metals. Other tools such as traps are also beaten out of the metals. The art of blacksmithing can be summarized in 4 key techniques of heating, holding, heating, and shaping. First, the metal is heated and sometimes completely melted in order for it to be manipulated, and then the blacksmith, with help of tools such as hand hammers, handvilles, thongs, vice, and clamps, beat the heated metals into desired shape and refine it to produce smooth and sharp edges where necessary. It is an ancient skill mastered and kept by the Uname people, who continue to serve large number of farmers and other craftsmen who rely on their tools for work. Igaro community, meanwhile, is famous for cloth weaving. Weaving is a method of textile production in which 2 distinct sets of yarns or thread are interlaced at right angles to form a fabric or cloth. This skill, learned through patience and mastered with individual creativity, has produced several historical preserved fabrics widely admired for their beautiful patterns, creatively interwoven to reflect the patience and great deal of careful attention that went into its creation. The people of Akoko-Edo have produced many of such fabrics, and they continue to earn economic relevance from continuous production of local, national, and international use. During festivals and other events that drove food traffic within and outside Nigeria to Akoko-Edo, many have made it a trend to compulsorily step in Gara and shop for locally woven fabrics. Others don't even wait for special events. They have established a regular trade exchange that services the economy all year long, as fabrics are constantly produced and sold using developed delivery chains and buyers across the country and beyond. In Sasaro markets, also in Akoko-Edo Local Government, yams and plantains and other farm produce are made available for purchase and regular exports to other parts of the world where people have developed a taste for them. The market welcomes buyers from far and near who make the trip with childlike excitement and enthusiasm, eager to lay their hands on the fresh farm produce grown in healthy and good soil. Ewan community built its own reputation and makes money from the production of oil through a different kind of oil extracted from palm and edible. The palm oil used largely for cooking is also sought after in great quantities by makers of beauty products, thus expanding the markets the Ewan community serves. As for Ikpeshi community, limestone is the real and major deal there. Limestone has numerous uses. It is an essential component of cement, a primary building material. It is an aggregate for the base of roads, white pigments or fillers in products such as toothpaste or pens. Limestone serves as a chemical feedstock for the production of lime, as a solid conditioner, and as a popular decorative addition to roll gardens. Its abundant supply in the Ikpeshi community has attracted several factories processing the carbonated sedimentary rock for local and export demands. Residents of Dagbala community in Akoko-Edo struck gold literally. It is a small but lively community where gold, the world's most useful and prized mineral, is mined. The mining of gold is preceded by years of significant exploration and development to determine the size of the deposit and the safe, efficient extraction and processing methods. This is then followed by the opening of the site to gain access, underground, crushing, transportation of the gold, grinding and sizing, leaching and absorption, elution and electrowiring, bullion production, water treatment, and tailing disposals. The usefulness and special valuation of gold is derived from the diversity of its special properties. It conducts electricity, does not tarnish, is very easy to work, can be drawn into wire or hammered into thin sheets. It allows with many other metals, can be melted and cast into highly detailed shapes, has a wonderful color and a brilliant luster. The Dagbala community has attained a special status and has played host to tons of explorers for housing a memorable metal that occupies a special place in the human mind. In Oja community, the people are known and respected for their mastery of pottery. Pottery is the process and the products of forming vessels and other objects with clay or the ceramic materials which are fired at high temperatures to give them a hard, durable form. If any such research is conducted, at least every household in the country and beyond may discover it has either earthenware, storeware, or proclaim made in Oja community, Akoko-Edo. Ososo community is one of the most famous communities in Akoko-Edo for several reasons, but notably its many tourist attractions. Its thick forest and high mountains played host to the Gouda Ultimate Search, a reality TV show designed to test the wit and resilience of selected candidates that held the nation spellbound. The annual Ososo Carnival at the Gara Abba Festival and the Ibilio Ikpishwana Festival, which is staged once in 7 years, features so much colors and spectacular that it draws a global audience with expatriates traveling across seas and oceans to witness and be a part. It is a local government surrounded by beautiful manifestations of nature and held together by a rich and colorful culture. and great economic potentials. Welcome to Akoko-Edo Local Government Area.